Well, hello Dirtfish friends. It is a pleasure to be back. It's been a while, Colin, hasn't it?
Gee whiz, it's not been long enough, Holly. It was Japan last year, we've missed you. We really have. It was a joy to have you in Japan. It's a joy to have you back here.
It's brilliant to be here, slightly different setting as we record our little Friday roundup. Sat on a lovely sunny beach in Latvia, and what a day it has been. All of our Rally 1 cars have made it to the end of the first full day of rallying, but there have been some choice words exchanged as we've got to the end of the day. Before we talk about that, let's talk about our leader, Kalle Rovanperä. Talk us through his day.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to talking about those choice words, I'd have to say. But Rovanperä, look, you know, it was a remarkable performance from him, wasn't it, in Poland, where he was called up very much last minute, underprepared for the event. He came here fully prepared for this event, and do you know what? To say it was a struggle for him out there today would be a little bit over the top, but he didn't have it all his own way, and it's a sign of a real champion. He dug a bit deeper than he would have liked today to pull those times out. And yes, he leads at the end of the day, but it's perhaps not quite the lead he would hope to have had. But Rovanperä is that sort of genius. He is a special breed. We know that. We've seen that so often in the past. And it was a strong day. It wasn't a strong day in terms of pure pace, but it was a strong day in terms of his craft and his ability to come to a brand new rally, okay, a place he knows and he's got really good memories of, but a brand new rally and do a job for himself and for the team. It was really, really impressive. Maybe too much to say you struggled out there today?
A bit too much to say, but for sure at some places, especially in the morning, I didn't have the consistent feeling with the car balance and the car. So yeah, not the easiest day, but the plan was to keep it cool, keep the pace steady, no mistakes, and now we are here in a good position.
He seems to be on a bit of a winning streak at the moment, not just in rallying, and he doesn't want to let that go just yet. However, someone's getting in his way just a little bit. The new boy, the local boy, Martin Sesk's first time out in, like, can we call it a full Rally 1 car? He's got the hybrid this time, which he didn't have in Poland, and it looks like he knows how to use it.
Goodness me. Yeah, we could have hoped. We really could have hoped. We saw a bit of signposting in Poland, as to what he was capable of, and it was a tremendous performance. Last night on the tarmac, there's no road position advantage on the tarmac, and he was fourth quickest, and I thought, wow, that's a hell of a performance. He's come out this morning and he's built on that. He's won a couple of stages. He's been battling with a 2-times World Rally champion in Kalle Rovanperä, but more impressively, he's been battling with an 8-times Rally champion in Sebastian Ogier, and he stayed ahead of him. There are days that you remember from your rallying career as being special days. When Latvala won his first event, special day. When Rovanperä won his first stage and then his first event. When Ogier burst onto the scene as a youngster that nobody knew in the junior championship. All of those days, iconic, memorable days. I get the feeling that we've had one of those days here today. This is a young lad who has got a little bit of riz about him, Holly. Is that the right word?
There we go, word of the week.
He's got a bit of riz?
Word of the week.
He's got a bit of riz. He's got a huge amount of appeal. He's enormously likeable. He's enormously relatable for youngsters and for our sport. Yes, we need to see young drivers coming through, but we need to see that, and we haven't seen enough of it over the last 4 or 5 years. And Sesks just looks special, and as you say, to do it here with Ogier, with Rovanperä, he is the sandwich between the two champs on his home event. Magnificent.
He's got a big smile on his face, that he's not quite wiped off of it. Another driver that always seems to have a smile is Taka. He's lying fourth at the moment. A brilliant drive from him today, but he is the Toyota driver who's not collecting points at this rally for the manufacturer. Will that affect his drive tomorrow going forward?
Well, it may have affected his drive today. In that the pressure is off, it may be one of those things. We look at the Taka in Poland, a point scorer. We look at the Taka here in Latvia, not nominated for manufacturer points, and it is like two different drivers. There maybe has to be a question over how he deals with the pressure of that elevated position as a manufacturer point scorer. He has been magnificent. You know, the most important thing when you have a bad rally is to bounce back quickly.
Tell us a little bit about what Hyundai, Neuville in particular, have been saying.
Well, I'll tell you what, Holly. Let's just play some interviews just to give you guys back home some context as to what we're just about to discuss. You know, I heard you mentioning there about part-time drivers in the championship and maybe not being good for the championship. It's not good for your championship hopes, but surely you can see the benefit in having youngsters like Sex coming through winning stages and, you know, introducing rallying to a new generation. I mean, I know it's frustrating, but do we not have to look at the bigger picture?
I don't know, but it's hard to see it from my perspective. I mean, when I came into the championship, I was opening the road most of the time, and I still got through and still got to the top level. So why make it easy for the others? But it's not about that. I mean, it's super good to see young drivers coming and doing well. It's not the problem. But if I would be a manufacturer spending close to 100 million per year and seeing my cars last on the classification because they've done well the whole first part of this championship, I would be really upset. Everything has been said in the past many times and repeated many times as well. So what should we add? Yeah, it's 7-8 rallies in a row on gravel. It's nothing you can do, and definitely having the championship contenders being the last cars in the classification, I don't know, it's really what we want to see.
Thierry was quite vocal at the end of the final stage of the day about part-time drivers coming in and, you know, making it very difficult for the championship challengers. What's your view on that?
Well, Hyundai have put part-time drivers in for the last 6 years purely to help his championship campaign, so I think that's a bit rich.
You're a master at talking about dealing with what's in front of you. You just deal with it. I guess, you know, in Thierry's position, your advice to him would be what?
Get on with it.
Elvin has just pointed out that Hyundai have used tactics for 6 years to try and help you win the championship. You know, so tactics is nothing new.
No, if it's all about tactics, definitely not. I mean, nothing new at all. And if we have to, would definitely do so.
What's your advice to Thierry?
Bite hard, and it's difficult. It's not fun, for sure. I've been suffering that many years, and I understand his frustration more than anybody here. And today, it's been a day where the road position had a massive effect, and even for us, I mean, we had an okay start position, but not ideal either. And there was also no chance for us to fight for the win so far. I think we could talk that for hours. Like I say, I've been fighting against that many times, and I would just resume that as a shame for our sport, because too often we are missing opportunities to have great fight between the best, because the best are too often handicapped, and that's not how it's supposed to be in a world championship, in my point of view. But again, I lost this fight already years ago, and now I'm not in a position or not having the energy to continue that one. And yeah, that's the way it is, but it's nothing new in our sport.
You talked about part-time drivers in the championship. Any thoughts on that?
They always been part driver as well. It's nothing new again. And I think about Martin, I will start with him. I think it's great that now you have some local heroes coming and some giving them a chance to offer new faces in our sport. And so far it looks like it was a good bet as well. He has done great in Poland. It's so far a beautiful day here at home. So that's great to have this kind of opportunity. And about Calais and me, yeah, I mean, his team have been playing these things for years and earlier than we did. They started this more than anybody. So there's no way nobody can say anything about it.
Well, the mood in this evening's media pen was quite something. Have you seen a driver with that sort of frustration bubbling up for some time?
Yeah. It's an age-old story, Holly. It really is. But you know what? I think the statesman of our sport these days is OG, and he summed it up beautifully. Look, you know, it's not a new problem. To be champion, you have to deal with all the challenges. There's nothing new. You know, no one's changed the rules halfway through or anything like that. You know, you have to deal with it. If you want to be champion, you've got to lead the championship. And if you're going to lead the championship, you have to work out a strategy of dealing with being first on the road. Yes, I understand his frustrations. I was a little disappointed in some of the things he said about, you know, particularly younger drivers coming into the championship. I'd have fully understood if his point was about Ogier, Robin Perra doing part-time championship. And I've understood that, and they're big enough, old enough, thick-skinned enough to take that sort of criticism. I don't think it's fair, because as again, both Ogier and Elvin said there, Hyundai have been doing this for years, and it's nothing new. What it says to me is he's beginning to feel some pressure. You know, Thierry's been at this a long time. He's had a lot of chances to win the title, and he's not managed to do it yet. There's no Robin Perra this year. There's no Ogier full-time. It is either going to be him, Evans or Tanak that becomes champion. And I think he's now beginning to feel some pressure.
And perhaps as well within the Hyundai camp, was there a little bit of team orders at play this evening?
Yeah, desperation, utter desperation. You know, and I have to say, Esa-Pekka Lappi has no one to blame but himself. Lappi had a shocking day out there, a shocking day by his standards. He had a great road position. Fair enough, he's not had a lot of rallying, but he was in the car on the small event just last weekend. He should have been better. He should not have been in a position where Hyundai could say to him, swap places.
Let's talk Tanak.
Yes. He's a fighter, a warrior.
He is indeed, and
he scares me.
He got a couple of smiles today.
You get a lot more smiles than I do. We did get a couple of smiles.
We'll try and get some more over the weekend. He spoke about making changes to the car, coming back. What do you reckon tomorrow will look like for him?
Well, you know, difficult to say. He had a strong morning and then an unfortunate final stage where he lost 2 positions, and the final stage was so important today, with tomorrow being, if anything, more punishing in terms of road position. He'd have liked to have held on to that position.
And it was a brilliant day for the Ford team out there. Tell us about those other drivers.
Yeah, it really was a strong day for them, wasn't it? And what we've seen today is that car is right there. You know, we've had Cesc winning stages. We've had Formol having a fabulous afternoon, a really strong afternoon. And look, the third driver, Gregoire Munster, in that final stage, third quickest with no hybrids. Enormous positives for the Ford team, the M Sport Ford team today.
You've mentioned the words young, dynamic. There's a lot of that happening in WRC too. Give us a little rundown of that championship.
That's a great link. That really is a great segue. You know, we were looking forward to a battle. Oliver Solberg, we know, is the class of the field there. Pyrie, though, has been absolutely on it the last 2 events. Looking forward to a battle between Pyrie and Solberg. Didn't materialise because Pyrie was disappointing, Solberg was supreme. He's built a great lead, Oliver Solberg, in WRC2. He can afford at the end of today to reassess his approach. He can be an awful lot more conservative, and that's a great place to be, particularly when you're in a WRC2 car. You know, there's more debris on the road, there's more pollution on the road, the ruts are a little bit deeper. If you can be a little more conservative, then you minimise the risk out there.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yes,
it's a day that will be sure to entertain.
Yes.
We've got only one stage that's repeated, so that road position is going to play a massive part in our drivers' times. There's a lot of varied surfaces, there's a lot of difference to come with tyre choice, and a lot of tactics at the end of the day.
He said that, didn't he? He said it, and quite different characteristics in those stages. So, you know, Cesc's home knowledge is proving invaluable to M Sports, not just to him, but to M Sports. I'm sure that there'll be discussions in M Sport this evening about those stages tomorrow, and they have as much information as anyone. So, yeah, let's wait and see. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've really enjoyed today, really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the dynamics, I've enjoyed some of the driving, I've actually enjoyed the little bit of niggle that's been going on as well out there. And I think tomorrow, Holly, could be just as entertaining and just as exciting.
Absolutely, more of the same tomorrow, and in the meantime keep an eye on all of our socials to keep you kept up to date with what's going on in between. We'll see you later on. Goodbye.
Bye bye.